All right, Arvin. So we are back again, and I wanted to bring up bookkeeping for Amazon sellers. So I know you obviously have kind of your background before even getting into the world of Amazon was actually bookkeeping, finance, all the stuff that I never want to do or touch. Um, can you kind of explain? And well, I'll tell you too. The other experience I've had is, I worked for an Amazon, managing an Amazon brand for this company, and one of the big nightmares that I had to deal with again, not having a bookkeeping or finance background, but was how to understand and interpret the stuff I'm seeing from Amazon and actually put it into the accounting software we were using at that time, which was QuickBooks Enterprise. And when I first started working at that company, had some kind of connector. I'm not going to say the name of the tool because, to be honest, I don't remember it, but it would pull the transactions across. And then they would be 95% correct, but there'd always be this small percentage that was wrong. And we would end up having to spend so much time like combing through the data, calling their tech support. But
Mhm.
anyway, it was just kind of this like scarring experience for me in a way. But so that's kind of my context. But I know this is a really important part of running, obviously, an Amazon business. Is you have to understand your numbers. You need to be able to have clean books. And so I'm curious, like, what are maybe some best practices or just some of the things that you've seen working with so many different sellers and with your background coming from bookkeeping, finance, all that jazz.
Yeah. Thanks for that question. Yeah, as you know, I'm an accountant by profession, and actually, my first experience in Amazon is as a bookkeeper. So, I'm a person of like trying to really understand everything from like manually, because I know that there's a lot of systems that can integrate your seller settle account into, let's say, for example, your QuickBooks or whatever. Um, and then when I started doing this one, I don't really understand how the Amazon system works. I don't understand the fees that they're charging their clients, blah blah blah. So I have to start I understand everything from scratch. I don't want to just rely on like the system, because at the end of the day, if the system fails, then I have to troubleshoot it, right? So what I did is, I used the payment report from the seller central account. This is actually where you can see all of the settlement ID and where you can reconcile the amount or the money that you receive from Amazon, like considering all of the sales you made minus all of the FBA fees and the selling fees and all other fees, plus the adjustments that Amazon did for, let's say, for example, reimbursement. So yeah, like trying to understand that from the like the SKUs or the inventory section, plus all of the like the FBA, like the storage, and then the other expenses like PPC spent. So
Yeah,
yeah, downloading the payment report, I always make a pivot and like look it up by settlement IDs, and then yeah, record it by transaction type.
gotcha. Okay,
So
cool. And
just
oh, sorry, go ahead.
mhm. No, just curious to know, because you mentioned earlier that you were having problem in your previous company trying to match everything, like, because yeah, in accounting, accuracy is always important. Like making sure that you're declaring the right thing, because at the end of the day, if the auditor of, let's say someone who audited your book finds something wrong with how you record your your sales or whatever, then yeah. So what's the problem?
Yeah, so what ended up happening is it would pull either there would be sometimes this software that we are using, it would pull the mapping would get moved off, right? Because you have to map the product from your
Yeah.
Amazon account to a product you've created in QuickBooks, let's say. And even though we had all the
Mm-hmm.
products properly set up, sometimes the mapping would break within this software. And that would then
Mm-hmm.
trigger, obviously, it gets either mapped to the wrong product in QuickBooks or something like that. That was a big, or yeah, and that was a big one. The other one I just remember is like a lot of the reimbursement related stuff was very challenging to understand, and especially then when
Yeah.
you start getting into the realm of like, hey, we're getting our removal order sent back to us. Oh, Amazon said they sent back to us this item, so one of our SKUs. So we were selling quite expensive products at that time, so we got this SKU back, and I always say that this is kind of my one of my go-to funny stories now looking back. But that $500 item we were expecting, instead we got in the removal order literally a set of Tupperware, so completely the wrong item.
Yeah.
In Amazon's view, they're declaring that they've sent that back to us, the SKU that we're expecting. They have not. So now we have to go and first of all, obviously do the work to fight that and get the reimbursement and show them the pictures and all that. But then there's just those tedious kind of manual steps of like now we have to go and clean that up in QuickBooks on the other side, which I mean, I'm assuming there's always going to be a part that's going to be kind of this annoying manual cleanup, which is why this is not my profession. I don't want it to be, but uh, also like so those were kind of the common problems that we had. We ended up getting rid of that software eventually just because it ended up being so problematic. It was like more work to actually have it
Mhm.
than to go about it a different way. What we ended up doing is actually reverting to doing the manual way. So we actually would download out, I think it was the same thing, the payments report, and then do various pivot tables and then essentially use that to create
Yeah.
our invoice, or I can't remember, our invoice or our sales order or what have you in QuickBooks, and then whatever. So that's kind of what my experience was. But do you have any are there common kind of like pitfalls or these kind of common areas people really need to be cognizant of or watch out for? Like, are the problems that I'm having, are those things that you would say are very common issues, or what have you seen?
Well, tell you what, I mean, as an accountant speaking right now, I actually didn't use any integration because it's just I did try it, but actually it's kind of messed up the way the book has been set up. Because when you're setting up the book, you have to create the chart of accounts for all of the sales, for all of the inventory, like automation about any sales that you made. There's obviously a cost of goods sold that you have to automatically record as well, right? So yeah, that's why ever since for like since 2015 that I'm doing a bookkeeping, but only yeah, I stopped doing bookkeeping since 2018. I am just manually, yeah, recording everything, like making sure that I have like recorded it SKU by SKU so that I can perform an analysis of like which SKU is best performing or which product is doing really well, so that I can also use the data I have in the book, may it be zero or may it be QuickBooks, to make a projection or which one, or even making a decision which one should I continue selling or which one should I recommend buying more from the supplier. So
Sure.
when it comes to quirks, like as you said, yeah, the reimbursement, this is something that at first I find really interesting and how I will be recording it, because even if it says that it is actually a reimbursement or an adjustment, there should be a cogs that you will record, because a reimbursement is considered as sold. Like Amazon is paying you for that one, and they will not be giving the inventory back to you. So you have to make sure that
You're
when
pretty
you are
much selling it
recording
to Amazon.
reimbursement, yes, then therefore you have to record an associated cost of goods sold for that one. It's not just you will record it as another revenue, right? So that
Hmm.
at the end of the day, or at the end of the accounting period, your inventory in Amazon will match the inventory that you have in your book. I mean, not 100% match, but at least it is close, because you have to match everything. You have to because the auditor will ask you, what is this, or why is your inventory figures like this one? Can you give me a breakdown?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and then they will ask you like, okay, then is it matching your inventory in your Amazon account? Blah blah blah. I mean, I don't want to sound too complicated or too technical. Just for
Well, it's a
me, it's
lot
always
for this
accuracy is always
this
important.
short video, but there's so much to unpack here, and I think we should say it. But of course, we're not giving any kind of like financial advice or anything like that. Of course, you should consult someone
Yeah.
who's obviously accredited to do this. But yeah, it can be very complex. So I think I was going to ask you, like, have you seen any tools or pieces of software that these days do work really well for integrating that Amazon account to a QuickBooks or a Zero, or like, are there any that you've necessarily seen work super well? I know I've seen that there's quite a few out there. I personally don't know enough to know if they're good or what they do differently. But
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, and as I mentioned to you, I didn't really try to do any integration, so I don't know if I'm in the position to say, oh, this tool actually works really well, but there are some that, I mean, there's one that I can that I saw on one of my friend that they tested, and I think yeah, it is actually it's actually good, but yes, it's just really a different way on how I approach the bookkeeping, because I would like as much as possible to separate the recording of the sales by SKU, but
Yeah.
more like the some integration. Obviously, you can decide, you can set it, but I don't like everything to be just be recorded as just like one chart of account, which is like sales only. There's no class there's no categorization of what SKU it is, because yeah, at the end of the day I want to use my the data I have in the book to make an informed decision.
Yeah. So
So
pretty much
yeah,
the
I
only
mean,
tool that you can
uh,
recommend is Excel.
Excel. I love Excel. I love making formulas from Excel. Obviously, the accounting software as well. I actually started it to do everything manual, because I don't have that time, don't have the software to record the transaction on Amazon. So what I did is just I did an Excel spreadsheet where I will plot everything in there. It will automatically create the P&L, the balance sheet, and all other reports that I need to make for it, just to see if the business is doing well.
Yeah.
So, but it's not that I just enjoy doing manual things because I love Excel and I love formulas in Excel.
You
So
like hurting yourself.
yeah, but I mean it's not like that, right? But yeah, kind of maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking, but yeah, I know there's a lot to unpack with this, but yeah, I think for today that's probably enough to dive into. But if anyone has any questions who's watching this, reach out to us. Mainly Arvin, not me, but he knows the ins and outs of all of this stuff. So he's a great person to check in with. Arvin, any final words for bookkeeping for now? Otherwise, we'll probably have to do a separate training video or something from you.
Yeah, like for sure, there's a lot, in every bookkeeping, especially if you're selling in the UK or European marketplaces. The VAT is a thing. So that's one thing that you have to consider on your Amazon account, or recording your Amazon business and paying them.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you need help on your bookkeeping, yes, just reach out to us, to Ben.
Not me. Yeah, we should talk
All
about
right.
VAT next, actually. So, all right, that's it for this one. We'll be back soon.